Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. We are live to Facebook. It is Friday afternoon, fantastic Friday, and I am so pleased to be here and tell you a little bit more about clean wine. Now, why am I talking about wine? I'm a health and wellness website. Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to talk about wine, because I teach you how to cook, eat, and live with things that are better choices. And you know, guys, I really do enjoy a glass of wine. I really love my wine. But I realized that as I got older, wine didn't like me so much anymore. And I could buy a certain bottle of wine and it might be okay, but I could buy a different bottle of wine and one glass of wine and I'd be hammered and just horrible headache and feeling absolutely terrible the next day. And so I began to realize maybe it's the wine and it's not me. And it turns out that's kind of true. And I met this fantastic lady who's here on the interview with me, Cyndy. Hey, Cyndy.
Hi.
And Cyndy is a Scout Cellar clean crafted wine expert. You guys, I tried this wine and it was unbelievable. It's so smooth. It's so delicious. It really literally tastes clean. And no headache effects. I mean, I can have 3 glasses of wine with my dinner and I'm fine. You know, of course, moderation is always key. Moderation, right, Cyndy?
Absolutely. It's always good.
Welcome, Cyndy. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and
yeah, I'm so excited to know. Yeah. So, Cyndy, tell me, when you know the Scout Cellar brand has sort of coined the phrase clean crafted. What do we mean when we say clean crafted?
So clean crafted wine is essentially wine that's created with no added sugar, synthetic pesticides, chemicals. It's toxin free.
Wow.
We partner with vineyards that farm organically or biodynamically from seed to cellar. So it's wine that's truly, you know, wine is magical. Grapes know what to do when you let them just do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
So when they're allowed to be created, picked, and then kind of go through the whole process of becoming wine, it's typically clean crafted wine. So that's
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's a relatively new company. It's in its it just had its 3rd birthday, right?
We are just in our 3rd birthday month. So happy
That's
3rd
amazing.
birthday, Scout
And I celebrated my birthday too, so I don't mind sharing the Scout Cellar.
We can always put those two
to
together.
That, right?
Have a joint celebration. Yay!
So tell our viewers a little bit about, I'm really fascinated to know about Sarah's story. I'm quite in awe, very impressed with her, really. So share with our viewers how she started, how it all started.
Yes, so Sarah Shadnick, she's our CEO, founder, kind of our fearless leader in this whole clean crafted wine movement. And she was actually an attorney. She was a corporate litigator, and she had always dreamed of, you know, her dream job was working in wine. So she had her children and decided to go back to school to learn to be a sommelier. And it was during her studies of becoming a somm that she actually started to experience some not so good side effects from the wine. And it was specifically for her, it was headaches. So she, you know, I guess it was the litigator in her, the attorney and the researcher. She said, but why is this happening? You know, this is my dream. This is something I've always wanted to do with my life. And now I'm really struggling to enjoy the wine that I'm drinking. So she partnered with, you know, all different kinds of people, physicians. They couldn't find anything wrong with her physically. And then she partnered with, you know, people within the wine world. Mm-hmm. And then she finally said, wow, you know, I am going to have a bottle of wine tested after she had partnered with a holistic doctor. And they were kind of going through, what are you eating? What are you drinking? And I think it was like a light bulb moment. So she had a bottle of wine tested, and lurking inside one bottle of wine, and it was very good wine, was over 350 chemicals.
350 chemicals?
350
in
different
one bottle
chemicals.
of wine.
One bottle of wine. So that can include
So that tells me I was not wrong when I realized that it was the wine that was making me sick.
Yes, it's actually what they utilize to create that wine. Instead of letting the wine kind of create itself, there's a lot in the wine industry. There's a lot of, I call them potions that go into creating flavor and texture and clarity in wine. And it also helps so that they can create it much quicker. So the wine that Scout Cellar that we bring to you or bring to people, so that's fermenting in a vessel for, it could be in stainless steel for a certain amount of time, and then a neutral oak barrel for a certain amount of time. But it's actually doing what it's supposed to do and changing into wine.
A year or so, right? If you do it properly.
I don't know if it's a whole year, but yes, certainly some of them can. Absolutely.
Some of them can. And so conventional wine, you're saying that they're using all of these flavorants and additives to make the wine taste the same every time?
Yes. I think, traditionally what happens in more of a mass-produced setting, they use a big machine to go in and pick the vines. And then, they pick those vines, they throw them into a vat, and they have to kind of get rid of everything else that was picked up in that.
All the rodents and the insects that made their way into the barrel. Oh my gosh, that's awful. That's horrible. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, so it's in this vat and they're creating, there's no really control of, were all those grapes in really good shape? What time of day were they picked? Were they, were there any grapes that maybe shouldn't have been included? So they have to create a consistent flavor, texture, even a color. A lot of them use, if you get a lot of people get purple teeth. From drinking red wine, and that's a mega purple dye that they utilize to be able to create consistency in the color of the wine. So every time you open your bottle of your favorite wine, it looks the same, tastes the same. It's always the same product. So it's kind of like a recipe for wine, if you will. So yeah, and ours is very different in a sense that the vineyards we partner with, they're family-owned vineyards. We're supporting the small guy. We're supporting farmers who farm the way that it's really meant to be done. The grapes are hand-picked, and then they're hand-sorted, which is, it's a very different process. So if they see some grapes that don't look like, those shouldn't be going in and getting pressed, then we're able to pull those out. So it's a very consistent and cohesive process to bring the best quality wine to you.
So Cyndy, I'm going to share the screen. You shared some images with me that I want to show our viewers, because I actually cannot believe what I'm seeing here. So this is a conventional vineyard being sprayed with pesticides, and that seems to be just the tip of the iceberg in terms of all of the issues going on. I mean, you're sharing with me some of these common additives that are in standard winemaking. I mean, tell us about some of these things. What am I reading here? Antiseptics and antioxidants.
They use so many different things to create, the texture, the taste, the clarity, and it's things that you would never imagine that are in there, doing specific things to your wine. I wish I could. My screen is so far away, I can't see all the specifics, but yes, I mean, they're all there and they serve a purpose to be able to create that wine. And if I could just talk briefly for a second about that first picture that you showed of the vineyard, when I saw that picture, it truly struck me, because, when you look at the person in that tractor, in that, machine who's spraying the vines, he's in a hazmat suit and that's pre-COVID. So why in the world is he in a hazmat suit spraying something that we're actually going to crush and then drink and serve to our friends? So that really, when I think about how we really try so hard to be conscious of what we're eating, and I never truly thought about, what am I drinking? Wine is such a different product where we're not disclosing everything that they put and create wine, just in general, what they're utilizing.
Right, right. So Scout Cellar wine is truly just the grapes that have been allowed to ferment, right? That's it.
Yeah, with Scout Cellar, is that what
Yes.
you're? Yes. So we use zero. We have a very, very high standard. We use a sprinkling of sulfites. Sulfites are something that is naturally occurring in a grape. It's an antioxidant, it has antioxidant properties. We use a very small sprinkling, and sometimes we also do have some that have no sulfites. But you don't want your wine to turn to vinegar. So
right, it's necessary for the fermentation process. And I tell you,
yeah.
I can attest to that because I'm extremely sensitive to sulfites. You know, I have autoimmune disease. I lived in a moldy house, and all of those things mean that I'm very, very sensitive to additives and allergens. And some wine I could no longer drink because I would take one glass and I just had this awful, allergic response. And that's not the case with Scout Cellar wine. But, Cyndy, just back to this, one of the things that really struck me is that people don't realize that their wine might not be vegan, because I never ever knew this until you told me this. It's a finding and clarification process. They're using things like crustaceans that are chopped up and all kinds of stuff that are from crustaceans, from egg, from products from animals, basically, right?
Yeah, there's dairy, like you said, egg. They use crab shell to flavor. They use milk. They use different parts of fish. And I don't want to make people be like, oh my gosh, what am I drinking? But I never knew that either. I mean, who would have thought I would never correlate wine with not being a vegan product. So I think we're very unique in the sense that we don't allow any of those things to be utilized. We don't need those. Like I said, grapes are magical and they know what to do, and the flavor, and what happens when it's made correctly and it's given the time that it needs, the flavor is beautiful.
And these are the things that they might do to the wine to correct it if it doesn't taste like it's supposed to taste, right? Like a familiar commercial label that we might know, it always tastes the same. So they're using hydrogen sulfide or polyphenol management. They're enriching it sometimes with sugars and with to try and make it taste the same, or they're acidifying, or do they de-acidifying it? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's for that. I always kind of compare it to like creating a peanut butter. When you buy a jar of peanut butter, if you get smooth or, crunchy or whatever you like, there's a process that's made every single time you buy that peanut butter, you're getting the same product. And that's kind of how I look at the way when they add all of these things to wines, they're getting the same color, texture, flavor, clarity, whatever it may be. They have their kind of, potion that they use to make that wine. So ours, from batch to batch can be just a tiny bit different. You might get the same wine and 6 months later order it again, and it can be very similar, but it might not be the exact same color. Or the rosé might be a little bit, it could be a little bit sweeter, it could be a little bit different. It depends on how much sun, how much rain did that vineyard get, what happened to the soil that the vines were planted in. So every season creates a different atmosphere for the vine and the grape to grow. And so ours can be a little bit different, but that's the naturalness of the grape.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow. So, Cyndy, how does Scout Cellar ensure that this is the same, that these additives and things aren't in the wine? Because it seems that there's no law in the US. When you first told me about all of this, I was like, well, how's it even allowed? Because when you buy a bottle of wine in the supermarket in the USA, it just says wine. There's nothing in the label to tell you that wine might not be vegan, that wine might have added sugars, or that wine might have added sulfites, right? And I'm like, how is this allowed? And then I realized how slack the FDA is. And so basically, Scout Cellar are having to pick up the slack themselves, Yeah. So, tell me about the process that they're going through to actually make sure that the wine is perfect every time.
Yes, and that is so critical to, integrity is everything, especially to our founder, Sarah, and, really standing behind our product and ensuring that what we're saying, like clean crafted, we really stand out of the crowd. You can go to the grocery store and you can find a wine that says organic grapes, but you truly don't know what happened to those grapes after they were picked. What process did it go through? What additives did they use? So we take it a step further. Sarah truly goes and partners and spends time with the growers that we partner with. She looks at their processes. And then on top of that, we also have additional lab testing, that is quite costly, but that we find to be imperative to ensuring that everything that we are putting our Scout Cellar sticker on, which I can show you, we have this little sticker right here. So less than 3% or about 3%. Yep, that's it. 3% of the wine that's produced globally will meet our standards.
Only 3%.
What's that?
Only 3%.
Yes, 3%. So it will meet the standard, but then we take it a step further. So we partner with a lab. It's actually located in Napa, and we lab test twice during the creation process of our wine to ensure we allow zero chemicals, zero synthetic pesticides, just the addition of nothing in our wines. We're also the only company that has a separate test for glyphosate, which is Roundup. So we have a zero tolerance policy. So we lab test twice. So of that 3% that meets our standard globally of how we produce wine, less than 15% will actually pass our third-party testing. So that's amazing. A huge thing.
That is amazing. So yes. I think this is something that a lot of people are going to love, because I've heard a lot of people say to me that they've had the quarantine 15 yes. of gaining a lot of weight, right? and I know that wine sales, nationally are up around 30%. People are drinking a lot of wine right now.
Yeah.
So I really want you to be, obviously moderation is important, but I want you to be aware of what you're drinking and don't drink chemicals. Yeah. And then the other thing is that your wine could be sabotaging your diet because of the added sugars. I mean, let's take a look at this Chardonnay. If you compare this, this national label here, this is 7 grams of added sugar per bottle, and the Gallivant, which is what I've got the cab here. The Gallivant has got no added sugar, but and it tastes much better. So basically, the one wine had to add sugar to get the taste, and the other one got an even better taste without adding sugar, right?
Right.
And a fermentation process.
Exactly. And I think that, it just helps in the speed that they can create the wine. But, a lot of wines have as much sugar as a glazed donut. And so that's 16 to 18 grams of sugar. So you look at that and you think, what in the world am I drinking? And then that also translates into carbs, where ours, sugar and carb count, when a whole bottle of our wine can have less than 2 grams of sugar.
Well, look at this Pinot Noir. This common Pinot Noir is 13.5% sugar.
Yes.
15 grams of carbs per bottle, whereas the Pinot Noir from Scout Cellar has 0.9 grams. Yeah. So Cyndy, I think we should taste some wine. I mean, we're talking about wine,
Oh my God,
I've got some behind me on display for fun over there. But this is one that I got from Scout Cellar, the Gallivant from California, from Mendocino County, the cab staff.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try.
I actually brought. So this is one of my favorite this is our 14K. It's a little can, and you can take it anywhere. It's like Dr. Seuss. It can go anywhere you go.
Oh, I love it. What's in the can? What's in the can?
This one is a rosé.
A rosé. Oh, that is beautiful.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah, it's just perfect for a picnic, really, Yes,
and it's, you can take it to the pool because it's, and they're all BPA free. They're all environmentally nice, and it's a 5-ounce pour. So you get 1 glass of wine, especially if you don't want to open a whole bottle. The cans are awesome. But let me try it.
This is beautiful. This is absolutely, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, guys. Come on. I've got to do this for my work, you know.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And I can say personally for me, you know, I had such a difficult time drinking wine at all. I would have, you know, it wasn't the headaches. I would have more of stomach issues. So when I drink Scout Cellar, I have never once had any type of stomach issue, which has been amazing for me to be able to enjoy wine with my family, my husband.
This is stunning. It's like, and I was thinking blackberries, and then I read on the bottle and it says, yes, hints of blackberry. And that's exactly what I was thinking. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
You can taste the different flavors in the wine more so than getting that kind of, what am I drinking? Like, what is in my mouth kind of thing. And it's just smooth and it goes down, and
right.
You can taste, like, I can taste the strawberry and the vanilla.
So now you guys, telling my listeners, okay, I tried this wine and I was so blown away by the wine that I was like, okay, sign me up. I honestly knew nothing. I knew very little about the company. Cyndy basically told me about the additives, you know, what was in other wine and the additives. And I just knew that I wanted it. And I was like, well, okay, I'll represent the wine because I want to tell my audience about what you should be drinking. And, you know, that's what I do at Taste of Healing. I don't tell you you know, that we're going to live on tofu and celery sticks. I love wine. I love coffee. I love chocolate. And all of those things can be part of a healthy diet. Yay!
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. It's amazing to have a healthy option and to know what you're actually drinking. So
yes. So Cyndy, I'd actually love you to tell the audience a little bit more about. I mean, they can contact me and I'll help them. But I'm still learning this because it's so new to me. I just jumped in boots and all and said, fine, sign me up, send me some wine because I love it, you know. I don't regret it one bit. It's the best thing ever. But there's different ways people can enjoy the wine, right? They have to order it. It's not in the supermarket.
Yes, we have a very exclusive distribution channel, and that's kind of for a reason. You know, it helps us to be able to explain what the difference in our wine is and why it's different. You know, so you do have to order. We're direct to the customer. So you go on, there's a link I'm sure that you'll share. But you can go on and you can kind of take a peek at what's in our cellar. We have, you know, we partner with vineyards all around the world. So you can, you know, find things from France, from Italy, from California, from Oregon, from Chile. You know, we have many different wines. You can select one bottle of wine. You can do a half a case of wine. You can mix and match anything you like. You can do a case, but we ship directly to your house. So it's super easy.
And I couldn't believe the packaging that it came in. It was amazing.
Yes, for the summertime, we actually have beautiful packaging, and it's almost like a built-in cooler. So it ensures that the wine stays chilled, or not so much chilled, but just at a good temperature as it's shipping to you. We ship everything via FedEx. So we don't want anything to come, especially in the heat, some of the much hotter areas. You know, you want to keep the wine at a good, safe temperature. So we do that. It's an extra thing we do for our customers. Yeah.
So the customer can order just 1 or 2 bottles, but you also have a wine club, right?
We do. We have a wine club called Scout Circle. It's phenomenal. It's no cost to join. You can select monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly. We have a 4-bottle tasting set. It's usually, you know, white, rosé, maybe 2 reds. They change month to month. We have 6 bottles. You can do a mix. You can do red or white. And then we have a 12 that's the same. You can do red, white, or mixed. You really don't have to think about running out of wine or needing wine. Right. It shows up, especially with the holidays kind of.
Yeah, you don't want to run out of wine.
It's nice to know you have your wine, you can have your supply. But we do have exclusive wines that are included in the Scout Circle as well that are smaller lot wines, and they're exclusive wines, and we like to offer those to our wine club members. So the wine club is an awesome way to go. It's also the best kind of price point that you'll get on our wines. And then every 3rd shipment, you get a surprise, which is kind of neat. You get a gift from a partnering or a like-minded company, and it's really something fun. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think the wines are excessively priced for the amount of work and attention that goes into it, you know? And so,
Yeah.
I just, if anyone has any questions, reach out to me or to Cyndy. And, you know, this is just another thing that I'm doing in my mission of Taste of Healing to, you know, help you live a deliciously healthy life, is telling you about healthy options. And yes, wine can be a healthy option. Just go figure that a lot of the wine you're drinking with all of those added sulfites, glyphosate, you know, chemicals, what is it doing? It's increasing the toxins in your body. It's increasing your body burden. Whereas wine that's properly fermented, it's a fermented food. And it's literally, you know, something that can be a healing food in moderation, you know, especially if it's wine that's low sugar, it's not sabotaging your diet, you know.
Right. And I meant to say that too, like I have a bottle of bubbles here, but even our bubbles it's a secondary fermentation process. So that's how the bubbles are created. So they're created naturally, which is amazing. And then the other thing that I probably should mention to anybody watching too, we have a money back guarantee and a just no worries satisfaction guarantee on everything. So if you're selecting wine online, and I've never really had anybody come to me and say I didn't love this wine, but in the event that you did get a wine and you weren't crazy about it, we will absolutely send you something else or replace that wine, so you never have to worry that you're buying, you know, a $16 bottle of wine or a $20 bottle of wine and not going to pour it down your sink or not going to enjoy it. We always want you to enjoy what we sell. So that's another kind of a worry-free thing too when you're ordering online.
Awesome. Yes. That's great. Well, Cyndy, it's been so wonderful to talk to you. And
yes,
I really appreciate your coming on today and helping me learn some more about the wine. And I'm super excited to see you soon. And, you know, chin, chin, chin.
Yes, cheers to everybody.
Cheers, honey.
We're here. Cheers. You want to learn anything? Or
thank you, everybody. The link is in the bio, and I'll post some more information shortly as well. Please reach out if you have got any questions. And cheers. Happy Friday.
Yes, good to see you. Take care. Bye, everybody.